Hey everyone, and welcome to today's installment of Beyond the Mask. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing an unplanned Halloween movie and Halloween Ends. More specifically, we're going to be connecting the dots between the concept for this unmade movie and how the idea likely got recycled in the final installment of Blumhouse's Halloween trilogy. Halloween as a franchise has had numerous variations, timelines and movies throughout the years. Some have been successful, others haven't. Following the end of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, an idea was pitched for a potential 7th movie, which took a rather different turn, but upon reading, resembled the basic plotline for Halloween Ends. Rather than be focused around Cunningham, the movie actually would have focused on Tommy Doyle, potentially played by Paul Rudd. So how were the plots similar? What did Halloween Ends recycle, and why didn't this happen? Sit back and relax as I talk you through the cancelled Halloween 7 and how its plot was reused in Halloween Ends. To say Halloween Ends has been divisive would be somewhat of an understatement. The climax to Blumhouse's trilogy has had its fair share of praises, but its fair share of critics. Whilst looking up different variations of the Halloween franchise, I came across Daniel Farrand's pitch for Halloween 7 and noticed most of the plot he described was incredibly familiar. The basic plot for Halloween Ends actually centres around the character Cunningham, as he is wrongly accused of murdering a child by the town of Haddonfield. He then eventually descends into his own darkness and finds Michael Myers injured from his wounds 4 years prior, and Corey somehow takes on the Myers mask and becomes a copycat killer, which results in Michael himself returning to Haddonfield. With that in mind, let's take a closer look at Daniel Farrand's Halloween 7 pitch. The first thing to note about this interview, conducted by Halloween Daily News, is the statements Farrands makes about his Michael in Halloween 7. He says, Michael Myers exists somewhere between the real and the supernatural. He is the personification of that veil that separates the living from the dead that only comes to life on Halloween. I think that was the whole notion of this character. Despite this being a generalisation of the character overall, the original story actually portrayed Michael as a human man or boy who just became a murderer one fateful night in the 60s. The question of his balance between the real and supernatural was definitely a key factor in Blumhouse's trilogy, as it wasn't overly obvious what, if anything, was controlling him. In Farrand's script for 7, he wanted to display the town of Haddonfield in a negative light, showing how fear and assumptions can be a dangerous combination. Here's what he said about his version of Halloween 7. In my 7, because Tommy was seen as this obsessed Michael Myers fanatic, they blamed him for a murder. They said he did it, that he was a copycat killer. So he's being hunted, and at the same time Michael Myers is still out there and more victims are piling up. This little American town has been infected by this, and their fear of Michael has brought him back to life and caused them to kind of worship him in a way. The whole story was Michael versus Tommy, and how's Tommy going to get out of this? Rather than Tommy becoming a murderer like Corey, the idea was that he genuinely was wrongly accused and remained that way throughout. The fear that consumed the residents of Haddonfield was responsible for wrongly accusing Tommy and highlights the irrationality they had when it came to Michael Myers himself. It's obvious now that this concept was likely reused in Blumhouse's trilogy. Haddonfield being irrational in their thinking and becoming somewhat dangerous due to fear, Michael himself lurking in the shadows constantly, as Tommy becomes this copycat killer and they believe is either Michael or someone pretending to be Michael. The major differences was the inclusion of Laurie Strode in Blumhouse's trilogy, and of course, the way Corey genuinely became a killer himself. In Farrand's version, Tommy was a hero and was likely going to defeat Michael one-to-one somehow and potentially prove his innocence. In my opinion, the time spent developing a character that was innocent all along, as opposed to the development of a character to turn him evil after all, and for him to be killed in the climax, is a better form of storytelling, as it gives us someone to root for. The 7th movie was actually greenlit, but was eventually cancelled in favour of Halloween H2O, which saw the return of Laurie Strode once again to the Halloween franchise. It's interesting to look back and consider what if though. Do you believe Blumhouse may have been inspired by Daniel Farrand's Halloween 7 concept, or do you believe this is all coincidence? Share your thoughts below. As usual, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to support the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, death has come to your little town sheriff.